2011 was a time to be alive for me. Still in high school, trying to figure things out. Really starting to pick up on music in general by learning bands and songs by name. And then out pops up one of the biggest surprises hitting the local airwaves.
Performing their first hit single, Pumped Up Kicks, off their debut album, Torches. Please welcome Foster the People, everybody.
Now that's nostalgia for me. This indie pop act released this song as a free download in 2010 before being signed onto Columbia Records' imprint, Star Time International. From there, that song became one of the biggest sleeper hits on the Billboard Hot 100. Peaking at number 3 and staying there for 8 weeks. Not bad for a song with rather questionable lyrics to sing while high school aged. And yet, this is the only thing I heard from them. Admittedly, I didn't and still don't have Spotify or any other streaming music service, so I didn't know how big they were elsewhere. Nor did I get a copy of the album Torches, so altogether I could only hear Pumped Up Kicks and occasionally Don't Stop Running Away on the radio. As much as I liked their sound, I never really looked more into them. Then came a chance encounter in an issue of Rolling Stone. I don't remember which issue it was, but I distinctly remember them offering praise for the music video to their newest single, Houdini. It was only a small blurb in the magazine, but it did leave a strange impression on me. So when I finally watched the music video, I was surprised by what they had to offer. And before we get started, I just want to cut to the chase and say go watch the music video. Houdini might be one of the best music videos I've ever watched. And since this is a very timely music video to talk about, which we'll get into, there's no better time than the present to make this. So I'll give you a few seconds to pause and take a look at the music video. There's no time to disappear as it is once again music video time, and this video is centered around Foster the People's Houdini, one of the finest music videos out there.
Sometimes I wanna disappear.
In my personal opinion, when it comes to music videos, the first 10 seconds are the most important. Within that time, you should capture the interest of the audience in some way to keep them watching for the duration of the video. In Houdini, they make the most out of their first 10 seconds. It first starts as a normal music video with all 3 members jamming out the song. This small amount of time lets us see all 3 members performing in their own respective roles. Then, it takes a turn. Now this is how you make a music video, which is ironic since they were in the middle of making one. With the lighting rig crashing down on them, just like that, Foster the People are dead. Now the music video can't be finished, and the big concert is the next day.
And the prom's tomorrow!
So what will they do? Well, someone places a call to someone else, and soon enough, they come in with a crew. They connect the band members to people in black suits who marionette the dead bodies in a way that looks unconvincing. With no one believing this would fly, the head of this crew signals for a black backdrop. And from here, the magic of the video really unfolds.
Sometimes I wanna disappear.
What we have here is damage control making Foster the People come back to life, or at least look like they are.
Shackles on my winter tire.
Now the song Houdini is obviously named after the famed magician Harry Houdini, so the song uses terminology based around magic. In turn, the music video takes their own interpretation on what magic is being used in this situation, specifically Hollywood magic. And if you ask me, this is an amazing concept.
Got shackles on my winter tire.
Well, not using magic like you expect at your usual weekend LARP.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
They instead use the power of special effects to work their way out of their conundrum, and then some. Not only manipulating the dead musicians like puppets on strings, Damage Control also cybernetically augmented their corpses. Talk about an escalation! They do this to move the band's faces and mouths, completing the process of making them appear alive once more. For the music video, they have the band's human operators wear green screen suits to chroma key them out. And with that, they finally complete the music video. Before we go further into this video story, now is a good time to talk about who directed the music video. This was actually a 2-man operation, both of whom are named Daniel.
First met with the band, they actually were brainstorming different ways they could die with us. It was just really fun.
Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, aka the Daniels. By this time of recording, they are one of the biggest names in filmmaking, with their sophomore feature film winning over 250 awards, becoming the most award-winning movie ever.
The Oscar goes to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
Yes, the directors of Houdini are the same people that made Everything Everywhere All at Once, both having written and directed the film and garnering multiple awards and accolades for it, including themselves winning 3 Academy Awards at this year's Oscars, including Best Picture. But before they ever directed a feature film, and Everything Everywhere was still a pet project of the two, Kwan and Scheinert were music video directors. The first music video being for the song Underwear by Icelandic electro-pop band MF Belfast. By 2012, the Daniels would make 2 music videos for Foster the People, one being for Houdini. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention their most well-known. Still an earworm that gets in our heads 10 years later, 2013's Turn Down for What is one of the most iconic music videos of the 2010s. This song's success I would definitely attribute, at least partially, to the popularity of the music video, which as of this writing is at over 1 billion views on YouTube. Streets ahead of Houdini being at 95 million, which in itself is nothing to sneeze at, but Turn Down for What still gets talked about. Now, while Turn Down for What could have had its own music video time, since there's a lot of great moments throughout, truth be told, while I do like what they did for DJ Snake and Lil Jon, I still think Houdini is a better music video.
Spice it up on a belly day.
There was so much to love about it, one of the biggest highlights in particular being its humor. Some of my favorites range from Foster the People getting crushed and everyone's in a panic, but the director of photography is still panning the camera. That's someone dedicated to his job. Another moment comes from when they're beginning to add the cybernetics to the dead musicians, and random people clap to the beat of the song.
Spice it up on a belly day.
And this shot right here. What else can I say? There's so much great moments in the span of 3 minutes. Another thing that makes the video great for me is the fact that the video includes how they make the music video within the music video. I like when videos do that.
And as an added bonus, the Daniels themselves cameo in their own music video.
I do want to bring up this quote from HuffPost about the video. The overproduced video screams a band that went from 0 to 100 a little too quickly. It's a far cry from the intimate and adorable video for Pumped Up Kicks. That's a weird bit of criticism to me, as I believe the writer missed the point. Of course it's overproduced. The band just died, and so Damage Control has to go to great lengths to make them look like they're still among the living. You're gonna have to use special effects and whatnot to disguise any evidence to the charade and distract them with pretty visuals. And considering how they do it like clockwork implies that this isn't even the first time this has happened. There's an implication that other bands and artists have died and their bodies were refitted with cybernetic parts and may still be used for things like concerts and music videos. Why else were they the first people to call? That's an interesting aspect to analyze, like a commentary about the music industry's treatment towards their talent.
And bring us back to life and make it look like we're playing, so they can continue the music video and the record label is happy.
Now, the production history behind this video isn't exactly that covered. I didn't see any articles about its history. There is a making of video that doesn't really go into detail.
Oh, it's exploding. I'm back. It's rad.
Perfect gift me to you.
But I do have something even better to share.
Daniel Kwan published the entire video treatment online,
which includes details about the narrative as well as facts about the production, and a couple of insights to what influenced aspects in the video. For one thing, the music video was shot on May 6th and May 7th of 2011 with a budget of $50,000. And this budget also included things like closed captioning and workers' comp insurance, which are rather nice things to learn that go into the budget of a music video. The narrative they wrote is essentially the same as the music video, so nothing seems to have changed from treatment to the final product. The execution section gives us what the two directors were going for with their video's story. On the surface, the video will be unflinchingly optimistic, a rock and roll success story, but underneath, we get the parody, the all too real price of fame.
by jokingly becoming the stereotypical record label puppets in this video and dying, we hope to reassure fans that this will never happen to these guys. Considering the fact that 2 of the 3 original members of Foster the People have long since left,
I wouldn't be worried about that happening. And on the final page of the treatment, they cited 3 influences to things that happen in the video. For the green screen puppeting, they took a video of someone in a green suit with a turtle puppet as inspiration. Also used as inspiration was the Bernie dance, which I've seen before but didn't realize was its name.
The dance itself was inspired by the movie Weekend at Bernie's 2, the sequel to Weekend at Bernie's.
You know, that film that two employees trying to convince people their dead boss was still alive?
Bernie, you animal, you are insatiable.
Doesn't anyone realize he's dead?
Quan said that Columbia really wanted Foster the People to be performing in the music video and not just be stiffs. So that's why they have a dance in the video.
On set today, and they were dancing around, and they actually learned the same dance we had to learn, and learned it about a fraction of the time that took us to learn it, which was a little bit embarrassing.
And for the third video reference, this was taken from, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, Kazao Taijo.
来ます。18番、オリンピックハイライト。
Known internationally as Masquerade, this is a Japanese television variety show that has been going on since 1979. The show features short skits done by either individuals or by teams, and one of their biggest highlights include people in black suits to give the impression that something is in the air moving. You might have seen this show before, as a 2003 episode had a segment called Matrix Ping Pong. This was a popular internet meme in the early 2000s and still fun to watch. This detail does explain why the treatment specifically mentions the damage control are Japanese.
So they brought in Japanese magicians.
Maybe they have participated in the show. As an aside, Kazao itself was also referenced in the 2004 video to The Pet Shop Boys' Flamboyant, playing a big part in the story. An interesting detail Quan mentions is that while the shooting wrapped on May 7th and the delivery date for the video was on the 27th, the music video was shelved for a year, with the video making it onto YouTube on April 26, 2012, while the song itself became the 5th single off of Torches on May 15th, 2012. Why did that happen? In between that time, Hell on a Beat, Call It What You Want, and Don't Stop were released on that time span with their respected videos. I'm not completely sure what happened here, but according to the brief Columbia Records gave to Quan, Houdini was supposed to be the second single off of Torches, after Pumped Up Kicks, but for whatever reason it became the album's fifth and final single. Maybe they just thought the other songs had a better chance? Personally, I always assumed Don't Stop was the second single, as I heard it on the radio all the time. Speaking of, Don't Stop was the other music video the Daniels directed for Foster the People. I do want to mention while looking into it, I found a Vice interview from the Daniels about the Don't Stop video where they said they filmed it in 3D and intended it for the Nintendo 3DS. Absolutely baffling to find that out, and probably inaccessible now that the Nintendo eShop is gone. Anyways, the music video ends with Foster the People's concert continuing as planned, with them performing the song without a hitch, while still being controlled, operated, and wearing white clothing, I guess to contrast the people that control them on stage. They even do their dance that captivates the audience, and no one is the wiser that they're deceased. Despite this one moment where the people in black suits start wearing their clothing, I guess no one's gonna question that. The concert is a roaring success, and everyone celebrates on a job well done. And as for Foster the People, they're still dead. Come to think of it, their use of dead bodies reminds me of the Daniels directorial debut.
Okay, buddy.
Maybe it's by sheer coincidence that they make dead people be integral to the plot, but I can't help but wonder if directing Houdini was an influence for them to do Swiss Army Man. Or at least something in that capacity.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer we could only kill them once.
But as for Houdini, I absolutely adore this music video. It's funny, it's creative in its ideas, and executes them perfectly. I love the editing, I love the direction, just a completely well-made music video. And while the video was shelved for a year, the music video was still nominated for multiple awards when released, including a nomination for Best Short Form Music Video at the 55th Grammy Awards, but it lost to Rihanna's We Found Love. Definitely would not have chosen that music video, but what can you do? And to give the band a credit as well, the song is pretty good too. Though it's not so much about magic as it is about Foster the People's fear of being rejected. And the way they get around that is by showing how talented they are as musicians. nice self-reflection when it comes to the uncertainty of how music would be received. It doesn't end up saving them from a horrific death, mind you, but it does take talent in showing off the illusion of life the way the Fixers do, as well as making a music video like this. I do wish that this music video got the same recognition as Turned Down for What has, both creative music videos that, in retrospect, showed off how much potential the Daniels had in future filmmaking. Their music video directing helped pave their way to getting them onto the Oscar red carpet and winning big that night. And Houdini is just one of many examples of how the Daniels are the type of people that focused on their ability in filmmaking and ended up reaping the benefits. Thanks for your time.